Hello, and I was going to say goodnight because where I am, it's night time. I am actually recording this the night of the match. You guys are going to see it the morning after, the night before, because as I mentioned on the stream at 7 o'clock this evening, I am going to be travelling for a few days. And you know what? After tonight's match, I am absolutely delighted. The timing could not be better because I am going to see my very lovely in-laws who could not care less about football. And you know what? I think I need a healthy dose of people who don't care about football right now, because honestly, I'm so mad. Now, I've calmed myself down a little bit, but I know when I start talking about this again, I am going to start getting mad. And as much as I love being live with all of you lovely people, and we have such good fun in the chat, I have to say, on this occasion, I'm quite glad this is not a live show. Because when I speak about all the other teams, all the other clubs, I feel for the most part I am somewhat objective. I'll always, have a little laugh and a giggle, but for the most part I think I'm somewhat objective. I'm like fairly even across the teams. Do you know what I mean? But when it comes to my own team, I'm so much more emotional, and I'm aware that I'm so much more emotional, and it's so easy to troll me. It is so easy to troll me. It's so easy to rage bait me. And I'll be honest, that's not really what I want the channel to be about. As I've said on multiple occasions, for me, it's about like a calm place, a nice chill place, fun, a laugh, a giggle, but light-hearted. The rage baity, angsty stuff, I'm not a fan of. It's not for me. So I have to say, after tonight's match, I'm not that disappointed. We're not going to be live this weekend. I'm sorry, guys. Now, I'm sure once I've calmed down and I've gotten over the worst of it, come Monday evening, I will be more than delighted to see all of your beautiful usernames again. I am going to post this as a premiere, which you will already know if you're listening to it, because it means that you guys will be able to have a little bit of a chat with each other. So even if I'm not there to chaperone ye, I am sure that Flossie or Guess or Dave or all the regulars will be in there, and you will all be able to have a little bit of a chat about what happened, exchange your opinions, and please remember to be nice, at least to me. But yeah, look, obviously there was a whole match, but let's face it, the only thing anybody's talking about is the Maguire, the Ahmad, the penalties, the referees, the whole shebang, caboodle, the whole thing. That's what everyone wants to know about. So I'm just going to briefly say, I think outside of the nonsense, outside of the referee decisions, outside of all of the calamities, I thought overall the match itself was quite even. I thought they had spells. I thought we had spells. I told you, Evan Nielsen, we needed to keep an eye on him. I told you the man was going to be a problem. Of course, the man was a problem. And who did we have? Who was it in the chat that told us Ryan was someone to watch as well? I can't remember. I know it was one of you said it. Somebody did say that to watch Ryan as well. So if it's somebody that is in the chat on the premiere, put your hand up, say it was me. I thought Ahmad was getting into good positions, but again struggled with the end product. I thought it was the wrong decision, and I said this before the match. I thought it was the wrong decision to be starting in Bumo. I would have started Sesko. I think we have to get to the point now where we do start Sesko. He's performing off the bench. Reward that by allowing him to actually start some matches. And I think the way we were playing to begin with would have suited him. I think he would have done well. So I think we would have got the best out of him. What else? Actually, I thought Luke Shaw was okay for the most part. Given the news he got today, I thought he was reasonable. Like, I didn't see a drop off in his performance, which is what I was a little bit concerned about. I thought both keepers gave a good account of themselves overall. Both keepers made some really good saves. Both keepers had to be involved in the game. It was end to end to end to end to end. Overall, if you take away all of the other stuff, I think it was a decent game, but certainly in the first half it felt like that extra little thing was missing. So it was end to end. Both teams were getting chances, both keepers were having to make saves, both teams were attacking. There was danger, there was threat, but there was something that just wasn't quite like there. Even though it was end to end and there was lots of chances, it should have felt more exciting than it was. For all of the chances that were being had, for all of the end-to-end that was happening, I didn't feel like enthralled. It didn't feel like this is a good match. Do you know what I mean? The game needed a goal. It did need a goal. And then obviously we did get a goal. But it was the start of the controversy, really. So we'll start at the start. I thought the pull from Jimenez on Cunha was a silly one. I think it was a silly thing to put the referee in the position of having to make the decision. I think in terms of the penalties we've seen given this season, it was a penalty. I do still think it was slightly soft, if you're asking me to be honest. But there was a lot more contact on this one than the one that was given for Cunha against Palace, which I said I didn't think should be a penalty at the time. I actually thought most of the contact happened outside the box, and it should have been a free kick, and that's what I said at the time. But it was given, it was never going to be overturned. It was a silly thing to do. Bruno scores the penalty, and we go on from there. And it was a yellow card. It was a yellow card because it wasn't Dogso. So that was the important thing. Then we get to the incident with Ahmad, where he was pulled. He was grabbed with both hands and pulled to the point where he spun and like heavily hit the ground. And there was no attempt by Truffert to play the ball at all. No attempt to play the ball in any way, shape or form. He only had eyes for the man. And I actually felt the contact on Ahmad was the same, if not more. And I would suggest it was more. There was more contact on Ahmad than there had been on Cunha. As far as I am concerned, the only reason that penalty was not given was because they'd already given us one. If Cunha hadn't gotten a penalty already in the match, or if we got the penalty but Bruno hadn't scored it, I think that one on Ahmad is given. I think the problem is Stuart Attwell and Craig Pawson, who was the VAR, didn't want to give United another penalty because it's unusual to give two penalties to the same team in the same match. It's unusual. However, if both of them are fouls, both of them should be penalties. And I would say that if it was the other way around. And I would like to think, because we do have a really mixed chat, we've all different fans, all different groups, all different teams, not even all in the Premier League. And I would like to think you would all agree that for the most part, I'm pretty even-handed when it comes to other teams. So when it was Van Dijk on Spurs, I actually, in one of the group chats I'm in, put in, I can't understand why that's not a red card. It's dog, so it should have been a red card. So I was sticking up for Spurs. I've certainly not given them all the stick other channels have given them in terms of the relegation and everything else. We've talked about it, we've had conversations about it, but I certainly haven't been making fun of them or having a laugh at their expense. I haven't been one of the people who has ripped Arsenal apart for their set pieces, for their corners, for their throws, for anything else. I've consistently said it doesn't really bother me. I think I've been more than fair with Chelsea and Liam Rosenio, despite all of the things that they have going on. I think I've been really quite fair, and obviously we have Kai on regularly, who gives a pretty good account of his own club. I think overall, I am pretty even-handed when it comes to other teams. What I find is people go, oh, well, it's United. Oh, United get everything. It saves them right not getting one. Everything's given to United. So it's about time a decision didn't go in their favour. Oh, look at the United fans crying when the referee doesn't do what they say. But the thing is, this isn't the first decision. How many decisions have I come in post-match reactions onto the channel and said, this decision should have been given in United's favour? It wasn't. We spoke about it after the Newcastle match. But a key match where we also spoke about it was the Burnley match. The Burnley match where Stuart Attwell and Craig Pawson were the referee VAR team. So incredibly, this exact same pair, Attwell as referee, Pawson as VAR, the exact same pairing disallowed Martinez's goal. And if you remember, we spoke about this at the time because we were talking about simulation and Kyle Walker literally throwing himself to the ground. I mean, embarrassingly. And the goal being disallowed when it shouldn't have been. That match ended in a draw. So we dropped 2 points. Obviously, if we had the extra goal, we wouldn't have dropped the 2 points. Now, the KMI panel, which is an independent panel, which has absolutely nothing to do with like any team. It's nothing to do with the PGMOL. It is an independent body that is set up to review the decisions made by the PGMOL. So they came out after that and said the decision was incorrect, that it wasn't a foul and the goal should have stood. The PGMOL have already had to issue an apology because this pair made a mess of things that impacted Manchester United and that cost us 2 points. They then decided they should pair them up together again for another United match. And look what's happened. They've made a terrible, factually incorrect decision that has cost us 2 points. Because if the penalty had been rightfully awarded, and it's a foul. I don't care what anybody says. Anywhere else on the pitch, you get a free kick for that. If the Cunha one hadn't been given as a penalty, Ahmad gets a penalty for that. If it's any team but United, if it's Wolves, if it's Newcastle, if it's Forest, if it's any of the other teams that people don't hate in the league, if that had been Ahmad doing that to a Bournemouth player, everybody and their mother would be screaming that that is a penalty. United get away with it again. How did United get away with that? The VAR and the referees helping United, blah, 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 blah. So if the only reason you don't think that's a penalty is because you don't like United, I'm sorry, your opinion just isn't valid to me. I'm not taking it on board. I'm just literally not taking it on board. I go out of my way to be fair, regardless of who the teams involved in the situation are. I'm not having it against my team. If I expect back what I give out. That's the way I operate in real life. That's the way I operate everywhere, across the board. If the only reason you think that's not a penalty is because you don't like United, just don't participate in the conversation. Not here anyway. I'm sure there's channels that would love that. I'm not one of them. I'm just not one of them. I'm not having it. I'm not having it at all. These guys have been proven by an independent body that has a 5-person panel, which is made up of ex-referees, players, and I think there's a coach on it as well, that there was an agreement, there was a consensus that they made the wrong decision. They've now made the wrong decision again. It was absolutely a penalty on Ahmad. If it had been given correctly, we are 2-0 up. Okay, that first of all changes the momentum of the game. It second of all changes the mentality of the players. We don't know that Maguire goes and does what he does if United are 2-0 up. And the thing is, as I said about Cunha in the Palace game, I didn't think that was a penalty. I thought it was dog-so I did agree with the red, but I didn't think it was a penalty because for me the contact happened outside of the box. It should have been a free kick. I think, based on what we've seen previously, while I think it's a little bit soft, similar to the one Cunha got at the start of this match, the ones we're seeing, it's a penalty. It's a penalty and it's dog-so. So it has to be a red card and it has to be a penalty. I feel sorry for Maguire. I'm sad that it happened to him on the day that he is called back up for the national team and we're talking about giving him another contract. It makes me worried because all of the people that told me we don't need a centre-back, just so you know, for the Leeds match, we're going to have Heaven and Euro. They're the only centre-backs we have for facing Leeds. Heaven and Euro. That's it. Martinez injured. De Ligt injured for the season. Maguire, suspended. They're all we've got, lads. So everybody who told me we don't need a centre-back, have a think about that. I feel sorry for him, but I think, look, it was the right decision. I think it had to be a red and I think it had to be a penalty. However, how you can give the penalty against Maguire, who had less contact on Evan Nielsen than what was had on Ahmad, and not give the one for Ahmad in the same match is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So people who want to talk about Palace and Cunha, there was more contact on Ahmad than there was on Cunha in that situation, and I've already had my say on that situation at the time. I think Harry Maguire, I think he should have got the red card, and it was a penalty based on the decisions we've seen this season in multiple matches. However, there was more contact on Ahmad than there was on Evan Nielsen. So if you give the penalty for Evan Nielsen, you must give the penalty for Ahmad. I also think there was more contact on Ahmad than Cunha in this match. I actually think of all the penalties, the 4 penalties I'm mentioning here, I think the one with the most contact, the one that was most a penalty, was the one that wasn't given. The only one that wasn't given was the one with the most contact and was the most of a penalty. So I just think it's a terrible decision. It's a lack of consistency, not only in a single match, in a single half of a single match, by 2 men that have already cost us points, according to an independent panel. That's not a United fans' opinion. That's an independent panel made up of 5 people with expertise in the area, who have all said that was a wrong decision in the first place, to the point where the PGMOL had to come and apologise. They've now done it again. These guys have cost us 4 points in a season. When we're in a top 5 race, when we're in a Champions League race, when the season is the way it is, when it's so easy to drop points, that is disgraceful. I don't care about their apology. Their apology isn't going to get us into the Champions League next season. And as we know, the way the financials are at the minute with United, because we've been out of Europe this season, we're out of all the competitions this season, we need the money next season or we're going to be in trouble. So it has a massive impact, not only on this match, but on the whole potential of next season if it knocks us out of the Champions League spots. Because 4 points is a lot this season. It's a real lot. So I don't care if they come out and apologise. It means nothing to me. It doesn't give me the points back. And you know what? I'm really glad we spoke about the refereeing and VAR and the use of VAR in our earlier video. Well, in our video for the 12 p.m. video on Friday. Sorry, guys, because it's still Friday to me. Although, to be fair, it's 1:15 in the morning, so it's not still Friday, it's Saturday, but you know what I mean. You're with me. So yeah, I've probably talked in circles a little bit there, but it actually just made me really mad, like really mad, because the attitude is always, it's just United. Oh, it's only United. I mean, the team is irrelevant. It's either the right decision or the wrong decision, and that shouldn't change depending on what team is playing. It's the wrong decision. Completely the wrong decision. If you give one, you must give the other, because there's more contact in the other. So what I want to do, guys, is I want to first of all take a look at some of the reactions. I want to look at this is Harry Maguire's reaction. So this is what he put up on his Instagram, okay? So let me show this to you guys. He said, "So soft, but that's where football is at the minute, and I should know better." So I think that sums it up perfectly. It is soft, but it is the way it is at the minute, and he should have known better. 100% correct so far. You would think both decisions would reach the same outcome. Exactly. We will be back after the break. Safe travel home, Reds. Your support has been unbelievable. What else can he say? I agree with every word, and you could see when he was walking off, he was thinking he's suspended. You could see him realise not only did it impact this match, like you could literally see it on his face. So I felt for him. But his wasn't the only reaction we have had. because we also have Bruno Fernandes's reaction. So let me make sure that we can hear it. Normally I have you guys to tell me if you can hear it. I don't today, so let's hope it's going to work.
Another game unbeaten for Manchester United, but there's perhaps a sense of frustration that you're not going away with here with all 3 points.
I'm more disappointed because I think we did enough to get that 3 points. Obviously, we end up we had to finish the game with a lot of suffering and trying to not concede a goal. The frustration also came a little bit into ourselves because obviously we had a situation where we could have gone 3-1 up, and from that situation we end up conceding another goal. I think we could have gone 2-0 out, and then we end up conceding a goal, not getting a penalty, and then we get a penalty against where more or less it's the same situation as Ahmad. One is rewarded as a penalty, the other one not. I know it's difficult for the referee to give 2 penalties in the same game for the same team, but what I don't understand is why VAR doesn't get involved in that situation, and or either way in the situation of Ari, because either one is a penalty and the other one too, or none of them is a penalty.
I can understand, and we don't want to get you into trouble with the authorities, but is there a frustration that can you see similarities between the one that's not given for you and the one that sees Harry pick up a red card and is given?
Yeah, because I think Ahmad is getting to a point where he's going to shoot, and he gets pushed or pulled. I can't exactly see how it happens, but you can see that is there something that gets him completely out of balance, and obviously I think it's very frustrating for the small players because they always say he's very soft on the small players, and when he's in a bigger player, they say they end up giving the falls. I do think that on the Ari situation it is a penalty, but I think in the Ahmad one is also a penalty, and obviously that could have changed the game.
Now, I have to say, I am going to give serious props to Bruno Fernandes here, because I have consistently said I'm not a fan of Bruno in the way he captains the team. He's not my cup of tea as a captain. But you know what? See there, right there in that 1 minute and 52 seconds, that is a captain. That is a leader. He expressed his point, but he didn't shout and rant and rave, and he didn't avoid it, and he didn't dance around it. He made his point, he made it directly, he gave his reasoning for his point, and he asked for clarity to understand. I think that's exactly what he needed to do and what he needed to say. I think it shows leadership. I think it's the right reaction. And where I think it's different than what, say, Rodri did. Rodri came out and basically said the referees are purposely picking on City and they're corrupt. They're corrupting it so that City don't win the league and they're out to get City. That's and he didn't get a ban for that, by the way. So let's just remember that. What Bruno has said is, I understand it's difficult for the referee. I understand it's unusual to give 2 penalties, but I don't understand why you would give one and not the other. It's very frustrating. He hasn't called them corrupt. He hasn't said they're picking on Man United. He has said, if it's one, then it's the other. And I understand the referee. What I don't understand is why VAR didn't help the referee get to the right decision. I love this from Bruno. And I want to really stress that and give him props, because, as I said, when he does bad or I don't agree with how he handles things, I criticise him. So when I think he correctly handles the situation, I'm absolutely going to give him the praise. And you know what? He wasn't afraid to say it, but I like how he expressed it. He was really calm, and he was really thought through, and he didn't put his tinfoil hat on and conspiracy theories. He just stated facts. I really like it. I really, really, really like it. But it wasn't just our captain that was talking. It was also... I clicked the wrong button before I've even showed you what happened. It was also our manager. What you're going to get is a really massive view of Carrick's head, because I don't know... I can't make... Oh, I did. I made it smaller. I was like, his head's just massive here. I couldn't make it any smaller. So let me share what Carrick had to say as well. So Carrick had... Do you know the mini interview like where Bruno was, and then a part of the press conference. So I'm going to play both sets of comments from Michael Carrick, and then we'll talk through them both at the same time. Because there's no point, it's all Carrick. There's no point in stopping and starting. So let me play that for you guys. There you go. You should be able to see it.
Yeah, a lot happened in the end. I thought we had good chances, really good opportunities, some good chances, some really good opportunities that probably didn't lead to the chance. But I thought we had enough to be ahead and a little bit more comfortable in the game. We found the goal. Should have had another penalty. If you get one, you must get the other. It's pretty much identical for me, 2-hand grab, and so he's either way he's got one wrong, but to give one and not give the others, I just can't get my head around it. I think it's crazy. And then obviously because of that, it goes the other end. They score, and then it's chaos after that, really. So disappointed with not winning the game after being up, but under the circumstances, with 10 men for what ended up being some sort of added time, which we haven't seen for a while, decided to bring that one back. We managed that really well again, and we're really comfortable in managing that in the way we did it. So I was really pleased with the way the boys finished the game, and easy to let that game slip away. And they kept their heads really well and took the point, which in the end we'll take the point and we'll move on. But just the decision for the penalty, I just can't understand how you can be so one and the other and give one and not. It's mental.
Yeah. My first one is he's definitely got one of them wrong, because he's give one penalty for us for the same thing that he's not give one. There's a 2-arm grab. So Mateus one he gives, the second one on Amadi doesn't, which is, I think it's almost identical really. If you 2 hands on someone in the box and they go over and they're in control of the ball, for me it's 2 penalties, but be interesting to see which one they acknowledge is wrong, whether the one that we got or the one that we didn't get. And it's a huge moment, and you don't give it, they go down the other end and score, and then it becomes all of a sudden, it needs to be a bigger penalty to overturn just because they scored, when actually it's a penalty and it should be a penalty if you've already give one. So, a bit baffling really to make sense of that. And because they score, then the game flips a little bit and changes. And then I thought we defended with the 10 men after all that very well, and the boys coming off the bench and finishing the game really strong. So that was a big positive for us to take the point in the end, because we've seen them win late here, and so we take that. But the penalty one's just is astonishing, I have to say. One of them must be wrong.
Now, so the last one I want to play for you guys. Where is it gone? Is it gone? Have I lost it completely? This is the ex-head of the PGMOL, okay? This is his opinion, and his is only 26 seconds, so don't worry. This is the last video. And then I'm going to finish up because, I've been going for quite some time considering it's only a match reaction, but I am incensed. It's on the inside. I'm incensed on the inside, people. Let me see. Okay, let's give it a listen.
What you look for in refereeing is consistency. This is a holding offence on Ahmed and should have resulted in a penalty kick. No wonder Manchester United are unhappy. Later on, for a very similar incident, rightly a penalty kick is awarded, and because Harry Maguire is denied an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, receives a red card. What you look for in...
So essentially, every single person who has spoken about it is saying the same thing. There is no consistency in the decisions. And to be fair, neither Bruno nor Carrick have said Harry Maguire shouldn't have got a red card, Harry Maguire shouldn't have conceded the penalty. Nobody has said that. What everybody is saying is you either have to give both or you have to give neither. And it shouldn't be influenced about whether they scored afterwards or whether we've already had a penalty kick. You must make the decision based solely on the situation that happened, and it must be in line with the other decisions made throughout the match. I was going to say I can't wait to see what they're going to say, but you know what, I can wait, because honestly, it doesn't matter what they say, it's going to be a big pile of nonsense, isn't it? Like, let's be honest. Nothing they say is going to change the fact that the same decision should have been made in both scenarios and it wasn't. Nothing they say is going to change the fact that we have yet again lost points due to this refereeing pair. Now, people might argue that if it was 11v11, the outcome, the match result would have been the same. And maybe it would have done. I'm not saying if it stayed 11v11, we would have won the match. I'm saying is we didn't get the opportunity to try. We didn't get the opportunity to try. I think it was completely wrong. And I think it might have a big, big impact on our season because, I mean, things are tight. Things are really, really tight. So they are. Let us look. Let me see. I'm going to get the standings. So there we are there. The 55 points, okay? Now, obviously, we've played a game more than everybody else now. So if Aston Villa win, they're back to 54 points. They're back to 1 point behind us. If Liverpool win, they go up to 52 points. That leaves them 3 points behind us. Like, it really could make a massive, massive difference at the end of the season. Like, they need to get it in hand. They have got to get it in hand. And they should not be allowed to referee our matches. I don't care. When you get it that wrong twice in a season, nah. Whether it is unconscious bias, whether it is not able to handle the backlash of fairly refereeing, because obviously if he had given us the second penalty, all over social media, everybody else is going to be like, oh my God, United again, all the refs are in United's pockets and the refs give everything to United and blah, 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 all the usual stuff, right? So if he's not feeling up to mentally dealing with that backlash to the point where he's not capable of refereeing the game properly, then don't put him in that position. Just don't let him referee the matches. If it's an unconscious bias, then okay, don't let him referee the matches. Unless he can come to the correct decisions consistently, he shouldn't be allowed to referee our matches because there's something. Whatever the thing is, maybe he's just completely incompetent. Maybe he's biased. Maybe he's like can't deal with the backlash. Whatever it is, he's not refereeing the matches properly. Therefore, don't let him referee the matches. I mean, that's just the way it should be. But yeah, guys, look, hopefully you've been getting your comments in on the premiere. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video somewhat, even though it is just me absolutely complaining for about 30 minutes. Hopefully you will smash a like, get involved in the comments. As I said, I am away over the weekend. I will be watching the football. I don't know if I will be able to upload a reaction after the cup final because I don't know what the internet situation is going to be because we're going to be out and about. So if I can't get a reaction up, I am back on Monday evening. I will hope to be live with you at some point on Monday evening. If not, definitely Tuesday. So keep your notifications on because I'm going to be a little bit higgledy-piggledy now for 2 to 3 days. But definitely from Tuesday, everything will be back to normal. 12 p.m, 7 p.m. from Tuesday. Definitely, maybe Monday night. I'll see what the story is. If you have joined me, thank you so much. I appreciate you all as always. I will miss my little teacups, but I will speak to you all very soon. Have a good one, folks.